in the examination, please do let us know about your scores. How much you scored in quantitative aptitude, how much you scored in verbal ability, how much you scored in GK, and how much you scored in reasoning. Here in this particular session, we are going to talk about those 20 questions of GK which you got to see. All right, the last Sunday. And not only that, we shall be talking about the questions which can be challenged. In fact, in this particular section, I do not think there is any question which should be challenged, because there is some people who are talking about one particular question being challenged, that is related to the US of A being out of the Paris Agreement, and Joe Biden, the day he got his presidency, he announced that America will be back to it. But that question also cannot be challenged. Take my word for it. So first of all, we are not going to challenge any question in GK for sure. All right, keep that in mind. Now, one of the purposes of analyzing these 20 questions is that in testnet also you are going to get a good number of questions from GK, and in fact in CMAT also you are going to get a good number of questions from GK. Other than that, those people who have to appear in group discussions, writing ability tests and personal interviews, they should also be very thorough with current affairs, because there you're asked a good number of questions from current affairs, isn't that? Okay. Hi Sobhan. Hi Gaurav. All right, completely got your point. Now let's look at the structure of the paper. How many questions were from static general knowledge, how many were from current affairs? So here in this particular section, there was a preponderance of questions from static part. There were as many as 11 questions based on static general knowledge. How many? 11. And how many from current affairs? Of course, 20 minus 11, 9 from current affairs. All right. Okay, so that is about the broad structure of the paper. We believe, and in fact we had announced on the day of the examination itself, that the sectional cutoff for this particular section should be in the range 5 to 6. And even after getting to know about the scores of many students, we stick to that the cutoff is going to be in the range 5 to 6. Last year it was 4.5. All right, and no bonus points would be awarded, because I do not think that there is any question which has any error in it. All right, okay. So let's now come to the questions. And of course, if you believe that Gradeup does a great service to you, please do like the session, subscribe to this wonderful channel, and share it with your friends as well as foes. Share it with everyone. Okay. All right. Now, this was one of the questions. Match the movie, not watch the movie. You would have already watched the movie. Match the movie with the personality on whose life it is based. Now, the beauty of this question is that apparently, you get the feeling that you need to know 4 facts to answer one question. But if you look at the options, you realize that you need to know just one of these 4 facts in order to get the answer. I'll give an example. Of course, it's a static general knowledge question. Okay. Many people are aware of this, that A Beautiful Mind, right, is actually a biopic based on John Nash, who had given the game theory, and in fact in 1994 he got the Nobel Prize also for economics. Mind you, he was a mathematician. Of course, you all know that no Nobel Prize for mathematics. Okay, and many people say that probably Alfred Nobel's wife had an affair with a mathematician, but that is incorrect, right? Nobel Prizes are given mostly for applied science, okay, which is why it is not given for mathematics. But anyway, so then there are many people who are aware of this, that the first man was a biopic of Neil A. Armstrong, isn't that? So if you're aware of any one of these 4 facts, you would be able to get the answer. So Gradeup will say that this is an easy question. All right, any question here? So that is about your question number 1. And look at these personalities also. Margaret Thatcher was the British PM, okay, from Conservative Party, and most important, the first women Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Please keep that in mind. And John Nash, as I've already told you, he got Nobel Prize in Economics in 1994 for game theory. And Benjamin Disraeli, though there is an Israeli in his name, right, but Benjamin Disraeli was again the British Prime Minister in the period 1874 to 1880. And I do not think Neil A. Armstrong requires any introduction, right? So he landed on the moon on July 20, 1969 on Apollo 11. All right, any question here? Anyone? All right, so let's move to the second question. This also we believe was quite simple. Which social media platform has received approval from the National Payments Corporation of India, NPCI, to enter the UPCI market? Okay, the options were Telegram, WhatsApp, WeChat, and Facebook Messenger. Of course, the answer is WhatsApp, isn't that? WhatsApp has been in news for all the wrong reasons of late, right? Just forget that. But before that, WhatsApp was in news for this particular reason. And what is this UPI, Unified Payment Interface? All right. So that is question number 2 for you. This is of course from current affairs. All right. Now let's come to the third question. And third question, many people, the moment they read tubarial gland, okay, they told themselves that they were poor at biosciences and they did not even attempt the question. I was one of those who did not attempt it in the examination hall. All right, of course, a good number of people from Gradeup had appeared for the test, which you are fully aware of, right? Many of you might have seen us at the center also. Now, when I was analyzing this paper for you, okay, I felt horrible. And you know why? Look at the options. Even if I do not know anything about tubarial gland, okay, even if I do not know anything about the Netherland Cancer Institute, where it was discovered in September 2020. So, of course, it's a current affairs question. Now, look at the options. Statement B says they are fourth pair of salivary glands. Salivary glands will certainly be related to saliva, okay, something related to your mouth. Option C is will benefit patients with liver and pancreatic cancer. Okay, for the sake of argument, you can definitely say that quite possible that there's a drug which is effective or there is some gland, okay, which control saliva as well as has impact on pancreatic cancer and liver as well. All right, but that is far-fetched. Okay, so options, statements B and C should not be together. Okay, because some gland which has some impact on fourth pair, which is a salivary gland, should not have any impact on liver and pancreas, right? Now, there are three options in which you have B and C together. Options 1, 2, and 3. There is only one option, option 4, in which you have only B and not C. So, without knowing anything about tubarial gland, without knowing anything about Netherland Cancer Institute, I believe this question could have been or should have been answered. Are you with me? Are you with me? Even if you're not, okay, I will still say that yeah, could have been done without any knowledge. And I feel bad about this, that I myself did not attempt it in the examination. All right? Okay. So please, common sense always works. Let's come to the next question. Now, they just give you bonus marks by talking about Quad. Quad has been in news because of our wonderful relations with China, because of whatever happened there in Galwan Valley. Okay, we have this Quad has been in news, right, for the last 4-5 months at least. So the following Quad navies participated in the second phase of Malabar exercise that took place in the Arabian Sea in November 2020. Of course, India, US, Japan, and Australia. Okay. Is there any option which could have been ruled out? Look at option 3. US and China together? Impossible. All right. But anyway, unfortunately, you have only one option in which you have US and China together. All right. Okay. So here we would say that there's an easy question, right? Let's come to question number 5. Here you have a lot to learn from. Okay. You have to match it. Again, there's a static question, undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, this is a static question, isn't that? Now, I'm sure you're aware of all these 4 pharmaceutical companies of India, Dr. Reddy's Lab, Cipla, Sun Pharma, and Lupin. Okay? And you have to match these 2 columns. Okay? Now, there are certain things, of course, your answer is option 4. As you can see, the star marked option. There are certain things which you need to keep in mind. Sun Pharma is by far India's largest pharmaceutical company in terms of market capitalization. Please keep that in mind. And who was the founder? Dilip Shanghvi. is the founder as well as the managing director. Is the largest pharmaceutical company in India, as I told you. And biography of Dilip Shangwe is the reluctant billionaire. Would you also want to be the reluctant billionaire? At least I would want to. Okay. Now, Dr. Reddy's lab is the second largest in India. Okay. Its CEO is Erez Israeli, another Israeli. Last time in question 1 you had D-Israeli, now you have Israeli. Okay. So Erez Israeli is the CEO. All right. And is the first person outside the family who has been made the CEO, which is why he was in news in 2019. But here I would say this had happened in 2019 only. Okay, so this also, in my opinion, is a static general knowledge question. All right. Okay. Now Cipla, the oldest pharmaceutical company of India. We should be proud of this. Okay, a great nationalist, Abdul Hamid, had founded it in 1935. And the original name was the Chemical Industrial Pharmaceutical Laboratories. All right. His son made it Cipla. Okay. His son made it Cipla because C, I, P and L were already there together. He just added an A and made it Cipla. Okay. And this particular, the current CEO, Yusuf Hamid, okay, is the son of the founder, Abdul Hamid, who was a follower of Gandhi. Okay. All right. And Cipla is the fourth largest in India. Please keep that in mind. All right. These are the things which you certainly need to know. Okay. Let's move to the next one. Which country has the largest labor force in the world? Was it a question? Was it a question? I believe it's a joke. Isn't it a joke? Options: India, USA, China, and Brazil. Okay. Of course, this is a static question. All right. Now look at the World Bank report 2020. All right. China has 778 million labor force. Okay. Almost 55% more than what India has. Number 2 is India, 501 million labor force. Number 3 is the USA. And look at the difference between India and the USA. USA is at 166 million. USA 166 million and India 501 million. So even if they ask you this question after 10 years, not 10 years, after 5 years, do not think, straight away mark China as number 1, India as number 2, and the US as number 3. No, number 4, Indonesia is not very far. So even after 5 years, you can confidently mark China as number 1 and India as number 2. All right, Indonesia can certainly take over the US. Okay, at this stage, China number 1, India number 2. All right, number 3 is the US, number 4 is Indonesia, and number 5 is Brazil. Okay, please keep that in mind. So of course, here in form of this question, they just awarded you three bonus marks. All right, any doubt? Any doubt, anyone? Okay, and keep one more thing in mind. When it comes to number 5 status, Brazil area-wise is number 5 in the world, is population-wise number 5 in the world, and now even when it comes to the labor force is number 5. Okay, so on many parameters is number 5. And Brazil, no, unfortunately there are 6 letters. So I was about to establish another fact related to 5 and Brazil. All right, let's move to the next question. World Economic Forum was founded by. Yeah, I mean, we all talk about World Economic Forum, but we unfortunately do not know about the origin. Okay, we'll talk a bit about that. And in fact, I believe that the reason for asking this question is that the examination was conducted in the last week of January. Right, we are in the last week of January, isn't that? And the annual meet of the World Economic Forum takes place every year in the last week of January at Davos, which is why you were probably asked this question. Okay, World Economic Forum has been in news. So they asked you about the founder. It was of course founded by Klaus Schwab. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. So he's a German. Okay, and look at the other options also. Milton Friedman, he had got Nobel Prize for Economics in 1976, and Friedrich Von Hayek, who had got Nobel Prize for Economics in 1974. And in fact, when I was going through the options, okay, I'll tell you what stupid idea came to my mind. Of course, of all these four names, I'm sure you must be aware of Keynesian theories and all that, which actually brought the US of A out of trouble of the Great Depression in 1930s. Right. So I asked myself, did the person get the Nobel Prize? After doing my research for almost 4 minutes, it came to my mind that Nobel Prize for economics was given for the first time in 1969, and the poor John Keynes passed away in 1946. So there was no question of he getting the Nobel Prize for economics. All right. And Klaus Schwab anyway does not deserve it also, which is why he's not there in the list, right? And in fact, if you read about the World Economic Forum, of course, we all know it's an international NGO, and originally it was founded as European Management Forum. Okay, and this was recrafted as the World Economic Forum only in the year 1987. All right, so the head office is at Geneva. This also is an interesting question. Mind you, the annual meet takes place at Davos, but the head office is at Geneva. Please keep that in mind. That is question number 7 for you. All right. Okay. Now, look at this particular question, question number 8. Okay. Sports person and sport. You have to establish a connection. If nothing else, I'm sure you must be aware of Sebastian Vettel. Okay. Who is related to car racing, isn't that? So here, but unfortunately, in fact, I was aware of A and D. I do not know how I marked it wrong in the examination. All right, because if you're aware of A and D, Divyansh Singh, here the name, and in fact, in the examination also, they did not spell his name right. That is P-A-N-W-A-R, but is pronounced as Pawar. Okay, so Divyansh Singh Pawar is from Jaipur, and he was in news in 2019 and again in 2020. So there's, I believe that most of you would have been aware of, is a shooter, right? He participates in 10-meter air shooting. All right. So let's look at these people. Sebastian Vettel is a German car racer. Bridie Ellison is from the US of A and he participates in archery. Tadej Pogacar is from Slovenia and is a famous cyclist now. Okay. Divyansh Singh Pawar is from India. Okay, is of course a shooter. And what about DSP? In ISSF World Cup 2019, which was held in China, he had got a gold in 10 meter. All right, and what is this ISSF, International Shooting Sport Federation? All right, okay. Now, let's move to question number 9. Which nation has formally exited the Paris Climate Agreement? Again, is it a question or a joke? Many things related to Trump were always in news, right? This was one of those things, and you must have been aware that the day Biden entered his office, he declared that he will re-enter Paris Climate Agreement, and which is why this question was in controversy also. Many people believe that no, none of the options was correct. But the question was, which nation has formally exited the Paris Climate Agreement? USA had certainly exited, okay, in 2019 itself. All right. Now, though Joe Biden has declared that they would be back to it, they will re-enter it, okay, but that will be accepted formally, or that would be effective only from February 19, 2021. So for an examination which was conducted on 28th of January, okay, this question is absolutely all right. You cannot challenge it. So the answer, well accepted answer is United States of America. Absolutely no doubt. And what is this Paris Climate Agreement? I'm sure you must be aware of COP21 and all that. This is a legally binding international treaty on climate change. It was adopted on December 12, 2015, but came into force on November 4, 2016. And in fact, this is one of the reasons. After entering it, you cannot start the application for exiting it, okay, before 3 years of, okay, Paris Agreement coming into force, getting completed. And which is why ultimately Trump, he wanted to be out of this right from the beginning, almost. Okay, but he ultimately came out of it in 2019 because he couldn't have done so before that. All right, any question here? Hi, Sovankar. Good evening. Good evening. So let's move to question number 10 now. Nagulthram is the currency of, you know why they asked this question to you? They asked this question to you because Nagulthram is managed by the Reserve Bank of India. One Nagulthram is always 1 rupee. Okay, the parity of Nagulthram is always maintained with the rupee. Why would they create any trouble for them? In fact, if you happen to visit Bhutan, you would not have to do much calculations, right? 5.97 Nagulthram is 5.97 rupees. Okay, all right. And anyway, there were 4 countries here. Kingdom of Cambodia. For them, the currency is Cambodian real. Republic of Nepal, Nepalese rupee. This atlas would be known to you. And Kingdom of Thailand, that is Thai baht. Okay. All right. So static question from economics. Aren't you liking the session? If you're liking it, okay, give us a thumbs up. Please do comment and share it with your friends. And please subscribe to this wonderful channel. All right. Question number 11, which is again from static part of general knowledge. This is on geography. Okay, you must have studied this in school. This is a matter of knowledge. The needle on a compass constantly sways between true north and magnetic north. The angle between true north and magnetic north is known as declination. I do not know what is there to be discussed here. Okay, I also got it right. All right. Now, question number 12. This is quite a question. I agree. Kho Kho, a popular sport played in India, has been part of which of the following games? Many people guess that cannot be a part of the Olympics or maybe even CWG. So people were largely confused between Asian Games and South Asian Games, right? Okay, of course the answer is South Asian Games. Mistakenly, we also had declared initially when Pranav and I took the session that evening that the answer was Asian Games. Okay, so probably there was some problem in marking. Okay, now certain facts related to Kho Kho. Kho Kho originated in Maharashtra, India. Okay, is a very kabaddi-like sport. South Asian Games is a biennial affair, and I'm sure you're aware of Asian Games. All right, that it happens once every 4 years. Same is the case with Olympics, definitely, and is the case with Commonwealth Games as well. All right, certain things which you need to keep in mind, keeping the forthcoming examinations and your interviews as well. Okay, that the next edition of Asian Games, which would be the 19th edition, it would be played at Hangzhou in China. Mind you, I'm not saying Guangzhou. Guangzhou is also a place in China, and Hangzhou is also a place. All right, and in fact, one of the earlier editions of Asian Games was played at Guangzhou in China, but this time it would be Hangzhou. Okay, so just replace G with H, and you get this new place. All right, so the 19th edition of the Asian Games in 2022 at Hangzhou, China. Next edition of Olympics, of course, it had to take place at in Tokyo in 2020, but now this is going to most probably take place in the months of July and August this year, and this would be the 32nd edition of Olympics. Summer Olympics is what I'm referring to. All right, Commonwealth Games. The next edition would be the 22nd edition, and it would be played at Birmingham, England in 2022. One of the ways of keeping these sporting events in mind, that Asian Games and Commonwealth Games, okay, they always occur together. All right, any doubt? Okay, another thing which you need to keep in mind when it comes to South Asian Games. Okay, originally, I'm sure you're aware of SAARC. Okay, so all South Asian countries are members of SAARC. All right, so originally there were 7 members, then Afghanistan also got included. All right, so when it comes to South Asian Games, all the members of SAARC except Afghanistan played. All right, so 7 countries participate in this. Needless to say that India wins the maximum number of medals, right, in every single edition. All right, I wish that this happens in case of other international events as well, especially Olympics. All right. And in fact, Afghanistan also used to participate in South Asian Games. Okay, for some reasons they withdrew in 2016. So that is question number 16 for you. All right, and Kho Kho might get included in Asian Games. Okay, not in 2022, but in 2026. That also you need to keep in mind. There are chances. Okay, but Kho Kho was included in South Asian Games back in 2016. And in 2016, South Asian Games was played in India. All right. Okay. Now question number 13, a hardcore. Static general knowledge from economics. The global multidimensional poverty index is released by, I do not know in how many examinations I've encountered this question. World Economic Forum, World Bank, Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative, and Innovations for Poverty Action. Of course, your answer is the star marked option, Oxford Poverty and Human Development Initiative. Let's move to the next question. Priyanka Radhakrishna, and mind you, there is no typo. Okay, there is no K in her name. It's C. All right. Is the first ever Indian origin minister in which country? Answer is New Zealand. Okay. Well, you had options like United Kingdom and Fiji also. So please keep one thing in mind, especially when it comes to Fiji. Are you aware of a term called Girmitia? Okay, there were bonded laborers who used to be taken, okay, mostly fraudulently by the British to different parts of the world, especially Central American countries and places like Mauritius and all that. Okay, so they used to enter an agreement and they were not able to pronounce agreement. Okay, so agreement became agreement, and then from that you got the term Girmitias. Okay, so you have a good number of Girmitias, people of Indian origin who had actually transported to all these Central American countries and maybe countries like Mauritius also, okay, by the British. Okay, so Fiji is one such country. All right, and when it comes to Fiji, even the Prime Minister of Fiji, Mahendra Chaudhary, okay, was of Indian origin. Mahendra Chaudhary had become the Prime Minister back in 1999 itself, and he was very much in news. I hope you're aware of this. Okay. Now, UK also could have been ruled out because Rishi Sunak, okay, officially they call him Chancellor of the Exchequer in the UK, which is actually Finance Minister. All right, so he was designated as the Chancellor of Exchequer, which is the Finance Minister of the country in 2020 itself, okay, in the first quarter of 2020. Please keep that in mind. So you might get a question of Rishi Sunak as well. As for this lady, Priyanka Radhakrishna is concerned, I believe she became one of the ministers, okay, in the last quarter of 2020 in New Zealand. All right. Okay. Now let's move to the next one. Match the country with its leader. Yeah, come on. Here also, this is actually not a question. This is a joke. Let's say I know nothing about these countries and their prime ministers, their leaders. All right. It's not about the prime ministers, it's about the leaders. Okay. Look at the options. Australia, Malaysia, Sri Lanka, and Mauritius. Of these four countries, okay, you believe that someone like Muhyiddin Yassin will be the Prime Minister of Australia? Not impossible, but very unlikely. Okay. Do you think that Mahinda Rajapaksa, Pravind Jagannath, and Muhyiddin Yassin can be the Prime Minister or can be a leader in Australia? Scott Morrison is the only Firang name. Okay, so straight away match that. Otherwise also, we all know that Malaysia is an Islamic nation, isn't it? And you have only one Muslim leader. In an Islamic nation, no non-Muslim can get a top position. Please keep that in mind. All right. So anyway, Malaysia could have been matched with Muhyiddin Yassin. Okay. Just a moment back, I was talking about Girmitias. Now look at this. Pravind Jagannath. Okay. The Prime Minister of Mauritius. His father, Anirudh Jagannath, was also the Prime Minister of Mauritius. And who are these people? Originally, probably from, they speak Bhojpuri. All right. One of the languages of my home state. And of the eastern UP as well, right? So they're all Girmitias. They're all Girmitias. All right. Okay. So here I believe that even if you just use a bit of common sense, you could get the answer. Isn't that? Of course, answer is 1. Yes, Sumit. Okay. All right. And if you're enjoying it, please do like. Okay. Do not show any inertia. Just like it. Okay. And share it with your friends. And subscribe to this channel. All right. Beyond the last blue mountain is the autobiography of which businessman? Kishore Blyani, J.R.D. Tata, Ratan Tata, Dhirubhai Ambani. These are the 4 options which you have. All right. Okay. Now, here also I was not careful. Rather than marking, and in fact, I was half asleep. I marked Tata. Okay. Not realizing this. That there were 2 options with Tata, J.R.D. Tata and Ratan Tata. Okay, this is autobiography of J.R.D. Tata. Ratan Tata hasn't written his autobiography. I mean, of course, one would write his or her autobiography. Okay, so Dhirubhai Ambani, you think that he can write his autobiography or could have written his autobiography? But anyway, so Dhirubhai Ambani, Ratan Tata, and Kishore Blyani, they did not write autobiographies. Okay, Beyond the Last Blue Mountain is a famous autobiography of J.R.D. Tata. All right. So, of course, this is a static business knowledge question. Now, I have up 2 or 3 questions for you. What is Bombay House? Can anyone answer this? What is Bombay House? What is Bombay House? I believe, I mean, look, in Delhi also you have a Darbhanga House. Okay, so only because the name is Bombay House, that does not necessarily mean that the place would be in Bombay. All right. Oh, Mumbai. But, all right, I'll give you a hint. Bombay House is in Mumbai. Can you answer this? Can you answer this? No one is answering this. Bombay House is the head office of Tata Group. All right. And who is Dheeraj Lal, by the way? Dheeraj Lal Hirachand Ambani is popularly known as Dhirubhai Ambani. All right. Let's come to question number 17. Logistic Performance Index is published by which organization? Another static general knowledge question from economics. And of course, the answer is the World Bank. All right. Okay. Which of the following countries is not a member of ASEAN? Just look at the options. We are all aware of the South Asian nations. There are as many as 7. All right. Now, many people believe that let's include Afghanistan also in the list. Okay, do so. Okay. But Bangladesh is a South Asian nation. It's not a Southeast Asian nation. All right. So, ASEAN, what is ASEAN? Association of Southeast Asian nations. But Bangladesh is in South Asia, not in Southeast Asia. So, Bangladesh is your answer. There are 10 members of ASEAN and all those 10 members should be on your tips. All right. Any doubt? Any doubt, anyone? All right. Let's move to the next one. Birdie and Eagle are 2 terms related to which of the following sports? Another question from static general knowledge and the answer is golf. All right. Okay. Now, name of which of the following car brands? There's a typo here. This is not card brand. This is car brand. Okay. Means shark. Answer is Marazzo. Okay. Marazzo is a multi-utility vehicle of Mahindra. Okay. Other options are Alturas, Seltos and Tiger. Of course, Tiger. Now, Seltos, I'm sure no one would have marked Tiger. Okay. Now, when it comes to Seltos, and in fact, the actual character in Greek mythology is Celtos, Seltos. All right. They replaced C with S to make it Seltos, and S stands for sporty. All right. Also for spirit. As per the note released by Kia, because Seltos is from Kia. I do not know how to pronounce it. K-I-A. And then Alturas. Okay, this simply means height. All right. So keep this also in mind. Maybe in MICAT-II, you might be asked a question or 2 based on this information. All right. Any doubt? Okay. So if you are enjoying the session, please do like it, comment on it, share it with your friends and subscribe to this wonderful channel. All right. And I'm sure you're aware of Gradeup Super. What is Gradeup Super? It's a subscription service in which you get many wonderful courses. And the benefits of subscribing to Gradeup Super: complete access to all the running and upcoming courses of all CAT and other MBA entrance examinations. CAT, IIFT, AGS-AT, SNAP, TESNAT, Maharashtra CET for MBA and MMS, CMAT, NMAT, MAT, etc., etc. All right. No need to purchase separate courses for different MBA exams. Just get one subscription. All right. And to speak to our counselors, please call us at 96500-52904. Lowest price ever. Wow. 18-month subscription. Prepare for all MBA exams with GD, WAT and PI till March 2022 only for 19,200 rupees. Offers available on registering, of course. Okay, and now we have a full course for CAT 2021 as well, and enrollments have already begun. And what do you get here in this course? 300 plus live interactive sessions, 200 plus PDFs, 80 plus mocks and sectional tests, 7,000 plus practice questions. All right. Okay. And this also includes a module on GDWAT PI prep, revision workshops before the exams. Join before it's too late. So there's warning also for you. All right. And let's look at the other offers here in this subscription. If you go for a 3-month subscription, you have to pay just 6,600, and this will cater to all your requirements for the exams like CMAT 2021, Maharashtra CET 2021, and GDWAT PI preparations. If you go for a 12-month subscription, all that you have to pay is rupees 15,000. And this will come handy if you are preparing exclusively for CAT 2021. When it comes to 18-month subscription, of course, 18 months from now will end in the month of July 2022. By that time, you would have appeared for all MBA entrance examinations of the season 21-22. For that, you need to pay just 19,200 rupees. All right. Any doubt? And who are the people who teach here on this wonderful platform? They are Pranav Pant, 100 percentile and DI allowed of CAT 2016. Jatin Agrawal, 19.95 percentile in quantitative aptitude of CAT 2019. Vikas Dahiya, 99.98 percentile in quantitative aptitude of CAT 2017. Ashish Tiwari, Savitri, Sanojam, Anant Johari, Ajay Sareen, Tapesh Saxena, Vikrant Kathuria, Krishnendu Datta, Saral Nashir, Anurag Agrawal, all of them are high achievers on not only CAT but also on many different MBA examinations. Isn't that? So on that note, I just wish you all the best. Please do attend all the classes. Please be on our community. All right. And watch our YouTube channel also very regularly. Have a great day. All the best. Prep smart, score better, go Gradeup. Thank you.